Hello, my name is Kevin and welcome to the Love Decanters channel. So today is a good day because I have been somewhere new. Well, it was actually yesterday, but still a good day. It's called Dragon Antiques. It's in the Rockingham Road in Kettering, and it is an antique shop. Yeah, not an antique centre, not anything else. So the couple that run it, they're semi-retired. So if you want to go, you need to ring them. I will give you the contact details, and you can book an appointment to go and see. And they concentrate on pictures, a lot of Oriental pictures as well, Japanese prints and stuff like that, and art glass, modern art glass. But I'm not going to start there. They had a whole bunch of old glasses and they wanted me to look at those, and I thought, yeah, I will concentrate on those first. And this episode's a bit, how can I say, a bit unusual for me, because this is part one, the jelly glass episode, because they're very nice people and they gave me a jelly glass that I was kind of very admiring. So what I decided to do, I'll do the other glasses that they got on the table, and also take a deep dive into panel molded jelly glasses, just to show you what I've got and show you how it fits in with my collection. Yes, jelly glass is its own thing. It would be one of those things you could go off and collect hundreds of them and not have two the same. But they were made over a very long period of time, and they're interesting because they are for eating jelly out of. They're not for drinking out of. But anyway, so yeah, the first half of this is going to be a bunch of glasses, and the second half is going to be, looking at my jelly glasses and this glass I was given. So sorry about that, but it is what it is. And then we'll get back to some of the art glass and other bits and pieces that they've got in this shop as well. So with that said, let's get on and have a look at some glass, eh? So I'm here at Dragon Antiques here in Kettering on the Rockingham Road. You can see I'm actually standing right on the road here, and it's this blue shop here, number 85, and I've never been here before. I've just walked in to have a look around and see how it is, and it's like a proper little antique shop. And the couple that run it now, they only do it by appointment, so you do have to ring ahead, but they do have some very interesting modern glass in there, as well as a few old bits. But yeah, they're more into the sort of like studio glass and stuff. So let's get on and have a look. So this is what it's like inside the shop just from the door. As you can see, they've got a lot of pictures, and and the glass is this kind of, they have a lot of art glass. So that's what we're going to be looking at, and they've pulled out a few pieces for me to look at as well. So we'll go through those. Got a nice deceptive here. It's a really good one in that it's very deceptive. Look how small that is in the bottom. So if you fill that halfway, you're probably only putting about a quarter of the liquid in it, and it's got broken pontal. So he's got 1820s on that, and I think that's a good date for that. Yeah. The references for deceptive glasses are not great, okay? And I thought I'd try Scottish Antiques, and they've got a few, but I have an issue with them, okay? So we've got two here that are exactly like the one that we were looking at. They're sold, and the date they've got on them is 1870, okay? We also have another one here which is further down the page, but I just opened another page and here it is. This is like what we were looking at as well, and they've got 1860 on that. Now, my issue with these dates is I have the Silver & Fleming catalogue, Victorian glass and ceramics catalogue, and there must be, I don't know, 400 glasses in here of all different shapes and sizes and patterns, etc., etc. And there are no deceptives at all. So that tells me, and I've got a later catalogue from the 1880s as well, and that's got no deceptives either. So I don't think they were being used. Yeah, I know they're not common, but that generally the less common things are earlier. I think for the style of glass and that we've got, and the fact that I can't even find it in the Victorian catalogues, I can't find it in any of the Whitefriars catalogues that I've got from the 50s and 60s either. I think they'd gone out of fashion, and I think the date that they had and the style of glass that it is more likely to be the 1820s, 30s or 40s than it is to be 1860s or 70s. Just by omission, the fact that I can't find any of any shape. Yeah, you can't always trust the internet. It is someone's opinion. The references are terrible. You know, for 19th century glasses, in general, the references are not great. There's no sort of like you've got L.M. Bickerton for 18th century glasses. There's no L.M. Bickerton for 19th century glasses. I'm picking things out by just going through lots of different references and bits of adverts and bits of catalogue and everything that I can find. I think they're earlier, and that's just my opinion. We'll probably never know who made them though. Got a bunch of glasses on the table here. They're a real mixed bunch. They've got these out for me especially. Yeah, this is not... Oh, yeah, so this is actually quite early, I think. So it's probably early 19th century. It might be later, but it's not quality. But look at the wear there. That's been super load of wear on the base. Now, I looked at this one earlier, and yeah, so that is a nice quality thing. It's got a broken pond. No, it's not. It's got a polished pontle. But you can see the tooling marks on the foot and all this. Pretty certain this is an English one. So it's probably something like 1830s or 40s. It's got that distinctive, just feeling inside there, it's got that distinctive knobble you get on early glass sometimes in the bottom of the bowl. Looking at a page from the book Whitefriars Glass, James Powell and Son of London. It's a Museum of London book. And yeah, so these are the types of glass it is. One of them was a bit more curved like this one, but with this kind of stem. And this page, it says it's from the factory drawings from the 1830s onwards. So yeah, I do know this style of glass with this kind of stem goes back to at least 1810, and because they're lead ones and not soda ones, that means they're probably English, and that would be the right date period for them. So yeah, I can't find an exact one like it, but as I've previously said, there's no really good reference for 19th century glasses. I just have to punt around and find what I can. Got a couple of weirdy ones here. They're a bit like ales or jellies. This one looks to be late Victorian, just stylistically. It's a 3-part one, so yeah, it's less likely to be Edwardian. And you got this one here, which is also a 3-part one. And yeah, and then that's low. So that might be a continental one. It's got low lead content. So yeah. So sticking with the Whitefriars book and the pages from the 1830s, I've got this glass here, which is pretty similar to the one we were looking at. I think this one's a jelly. It does have a, yeah, these ones have inverted lips, and this one does as well. But it's this style of glass. It is a jelly though, I think. And I'll show you why in a bit. But yeah, so this style of glass is originally probably started out in the 1820s and they went on. But as you go through these Whitefriars catalogues, it kind of dies out by 1860 really. So I think that's the time frame that we're looking at for that. This is a page from the book Victorian Pattern Glass and China book, and it's a retail catalogue from the 1870s. And yeah, so these are jelly glasses down here. You can see they don't have inverted lips anymore. And this one is very like the other one that I said that was probably newer than the other one, with the big panelled cutting on it. It had little ovals like this. So this is from 1870, but I thought I should go a little bit more on this because I don't see this one very often. It's quite delicate glass. So yeah, what did I find? Where can I open the right page? I think it's this one, and here is one here. So this is from 1906, so we've got a 40-year window there. So we've got the catalogue from the 1870s, and you've got an almost identical glass in an advert in the Pottery Gazette 1906. But also, just to make your life more difficult, I have another advert, yeah, from the Anglo-Belge Glass Association, and there's not an exact match, but they're churning out the same kind of glass as well. So there's a possibility it might not be English. I think it's more likely to be soda glass, and I don't think that one was soda glass. So yeah, generally they're sort of like the European import glass, and even in this catalogue it differentiates between English glass and European glass quite just the way it leans on it. I think the European glasses were cheaper materials, would probably ring less well, have less lead, etc., because the tradition in England was for lead glass. There's one more glass I'm going to pull out of this bunch, is this one here, which is super fine. I think this is the kind of thing Whitefriars were doing in the late 19th century. It's super fine, really thin, and if you ping it, oh, I'm going to kill it now. No, it's too light to do that, not hold it with two hands. So anyway, take it from me, it rings really nice, and I'll show you the kind of things in the Whitefriars catalogue from that period, but yeah, that's a nice quality glass. So we're sticking with the Whitefriars glass book, only this time we've gone forward in time to 1860s catalogue. And yeah, this is the service we're looking at. So this is amongst all of the flashy glasses that they're doing. But this is the plain version. It doesn't mean that they're not, how can I say, they're not the cheapest glasses. You know, these are not designed as pub glasses. If we scroll in and have a closer look, you can see that the stem is the same. It's very straight. And some of the other ones in the 1870s seem to have more tapered stems, but this is like the one that we were looking at, with just as a straight column. But also these glasses are very en vogue for the time period as well. So this is not sort of like for somebody that's unfashionable or whatever, just because it's plain. I think that's the intention. I think not long after this, Christopher Dresser was saying that glass should be plain so that you can see its material qualities and all of this designery stuff that people used to do at this time. So yeah, these are aesthetic movement glasses and super fashionable at the time. The fact that they're plain doesn't mean that they're not quality pieces. I should also point out that other people were making very similar glasses, and just because there's something, this one here is very similar to what we were looking at shape and proportion wise, just because Whitefriars are doing something like this doesn't mean other people weren't doing things that were virtually the same. So I'll pull out the prize one here, actually. It's this one here. Someone has used it as a vase at some point, but this here is an 18th century jelly glass. Really nice. The ribs are really distinctive on it. It's got broken ponton. The foot is not quite round. It's got a rudimentary stem, which is basically just a cushion. Yeah, that is a classic. And I might be able to find a good reference for that. It might be in Bickerton or somewhere. Yeah, that is a nice glass. So, the lovely people at Dragon Antiques gave me this glass. And I thought, to celebrate being given a glass, this is like my biggest payoff for running this channel yet. So yeah, I thought let's do a little bit of sharing of some of my other glasses, because this is not the only panel molded jelly I've got, and I can do you a sort of like better, worse, whatever kind of thing like they do on Antiques Roadshow. So this is a really nice one. It's a nice early, I would say, I'm thinking probably third quarter of the 18th century. It has a little cushion stem, can you see? And it has a broken ponton. You've got some workings here, so this little bit here, that's not a chip, that's where the tool is pressed into the corner of it while it was still plasticky. It's got like a bubble here, can you see? And yeah, it does have some condition issues, so which you would probably struggle to get rid of without breaking it. So the inside of here needs repolishing because it's got some scratches, but also it's been used as a vase a little bit, and this isn't lime scale, that's bloom, so it's eaten the surface of the glass a little bit. So yeah, that value wise that does dint it a bit, but I'm not interested in value. It's a really nice glass, and you know me, I don't mind a little bit of that. It doesn't hurt it at all. I'd rather it had a chip in it than have the whole chip polished away and have it look original. So yeah, this is to me this is a nice glass. It's just the ribs are really crisp, and later on they kind of soften out. They tend not to have these little bun stems. So I'm going to show you what goes with this. So I think, so the one that I have that is better than this one is this one. This is an early 18th century one. So it has, let's see if I can make it focus on it. It has a little cushion stem in the middle, but it has a domed foot, and it's also what's known as an oversewn domed foot. So it's got this like ribbed moulding going round the foot. You can see also got broken ponton as well, and it's also got very crisp. The petals, the ribs on the petal moulding are very crisp as well, like they are on this one. Slightly different body shape, shorter and fatter a little bit, but yeah, so between these two you'd have one with a plain domed foot, as opposed to if you were kind of like going better and better and better. You have to remember all these things are, the ones I'm going to show you, are made over a 100-year period of time by lots of different manufacturers, so the styles just jiggle around a little bit. They're basically the same thing, but they jiggle around a little bit as they're going. That's the only way I can describe it. So yeah, So yeah, these little stems tend to be earlier. But anyway, yeah, if there was a domed foot that was plain, it would be cheaper than this one. It just fit in here. This would be next. I also have one that's kind of probably similar date to this one, but looks different. Also has a lot of condition issues. There's this one here. This one doesn't have a cushion stem. It's got the petal moulding is a bit thinner, so the ribs are very close together. They're still sharp, and that's probably in a similar time period to this one. This one just doesn't look as magnificent as this one. It's got a bigger foot, and it's got this little cushion which just raises it up and gives it a little bit of height. Now, what am I going to show you next? Okay, so I have the next one I'm going to show you, I think, is an early 19th century one, and I think the others are either late 19th century or late 18th century or early 19th century, and it's another petal moulded one. Let's shift some of these out. Put it here so you can see it better, and you can see it's got a different look to it. It's thinner at the bottom. It doesn't have a cushion. It just has a little tiny stem. The foot is like a bumper. You see it's got a very rounded edge on the foot, and all the others I'm going to show you now. And it's got this. The ribbing is a bit softer. It doesn't quite go down to the stem. Yeah, but it does have. You can see this. You can see it's old because look, it's got rubbish in the glass, and I've got 3 of these, and they've all got some rubbish in them and bubbles and stuff. Yeah, you can see. Look, there's a bit of rubbish in the foot. And the other thing about this one is that the whole base is polished. You can't. The pontle mark is actually the whole foot, but you can see where it sits on the edge here, so you can see the wear. But yeah, it doesn't have a little polished pontle in the middle. It has the whole bottom. So yeah, so the other ones I have are kind of from the same category, but have a little lift above this one. So this is the next one, and it is actually very similar to this one. Hang on, let's move these across and out of the way. So this also is late 18th, early 19th century one as well, and you can see it has, and what that is, so it has a very similar base. Can you see where the whole base is polished pontle, and you can see the wear on the edge of it. I'll get it to focus on that. Yeah, can you see that? But it has, the ribs have little notches cut in them. So that would have been quite a bit of work, and value-wise, that lifts that one. I don't know if it really makes that much difference now, today, but when it was being bought new, that would have made a difference, because it's a bit like the difference between something that's new and something that's old. The value of making it starts to disappear, and its intrinsic value becomes more important. And yeah, I don't think, some people might actually prefer the plainer one to the notched one, and yeah. And then I have another one which takes it even more. So you've still got the same. This one is notched as well, but it's also got a serrated lip. Can you see? And also the base is the same. It's not quite as big a pontle, but still a big fat pontle. It's got a lot of wear on it, but then it's got the notches. It's got a little short stem, and it's got all these notches, but then it's got the, so you kind of got this progress theoretically, I think, if you kind of go, can I zoom out a bit? Let me pull back so we can get them all in together. There we go. So if you were ordering them out, that would be the cheapest. That would be next. That would be next. These are all the late 18th century, early 19th century ones. They've just got more and more work on them. I think this looks a bit stumpy so someone's put a lot of work into making it stumpy, but it is what it is. I think this one probably looks the best. And then of these, this one is next, which is more your third quarter, I think. This one is a similar age, and then this is the really old one. So yeah, you got a bit of sequence just for ribbed jelly glasses. And if someone were to start collecting jelly glasses, this is kind of like where you're at, really. This is just ribbed ones. There's other ones with panel cuts and all sorts of things, and you could probably get 50 of these and none of them would be the same, even just the ribbed ones. And then you've got other shapes and sizes, and ones with stems and one without stems, and all sorts of stuff going on. So there you have it. First episode from a new antiques place that I've never been to before. And yeah, jelly glasses. So back in the day, jelly was a real luxury. You can't just go down the supermarket and buy little squares and boil it up with some hot water and make jelly like you do today. Jelly was made out of, I'm not even sure what it's made of today, but back then it was made out of calves' hooves, and they would have to render it down. So they would literally have to boil calves' hooves for like 6 hours or something to render the gelatine out of the hooves. Yeah, tasty. So yeah, I think with that we'll start to wrap up. So all the references I used will be in the description below. Contact details for Dragon Antiques will be in the description below. And please remember to like and subscribe, because it really helps my channel. So thank you for watching. Have a good night. Good night.